What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's a good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here. And I know we're coming off of that ass whooping that the Bills handed out, but there's still silver linings. There's still that light at the end of the tunnel, right? It's only week 2, but there's still players that have stood out. And this is a expanded conversation piece I want to have at some point. So there's going to be more live streams coming out. I know I'm guaranteeing 2 a month on my memberships. And then speaking of which, the all 22s, I plan on putting out the Steelers and the Bills in the coming days here, and I'm going to work on trying to get those out within the first day or two, based on my schedule for the upcoming games. But all of that aside, Armand Membou has been thoroughly impressive. The fact that it's a rookie of all things that is one of the bright spots on this team is a huge plus. And you can say he's a first round pick, he should be performing this way, etc. But there's a couple truths from the college ranks going into the NFL that we also have to consider. One, offensive line play has not been at a premium, right? It's all about getting the athlete, and then some of these programs are lucky enough to keep some of these guys long enough to be able to develop them or at least see them consistently within the scheme so that they can get some kind of discipline, some kind of consistent technique, right? Two, the quarterback play doesn't always allow the offensive lineman to shine, and also it's just kind of a trick playish, right? In a lot of aspects, right? It's all about whatever you can do to get the chunk yardage and the explosive plays, which you're chasing in the NFL too. But there's more of a discipline, more of a discipline, more of a formality around it. So all of that to say, you're getting not less talented guys, but you're getting less developed players coming in at both positions. And it could have been very easy to see Armand Membou come in, especially the way we were seeing matchups go over the course of OTAs and training camp for him to struggle. But we can't forget, the Steelers aren't slouches. I don't care what the week 1 performance we had against them says, or even what they were showing against the Seahawks. They have players out there, Highsmith, Watt. They even have depth players you feel really, really good about. Number 1 rated tackle in week 1 was Armand Membou. You take a look at what he's been able to do over a 2-game sample size now. 81.6 overall grade with PFF. 100% of the snaps, which is 111th, but he's ranked the 4th best tackle in football right now, and he's second amongst right tackles, specifically while not allowing a single sack or a single penalty. Why is this important? It gives Tanner Engstrand a baseline for how we should see this offense perform just week in and week out, right? Do we have the firepower to keep up with shootouts? No. I think week 1 gave a lot of people a false expectation of what we could see, right? This was Justin Fields clicking at his very best. This was the run game in Breece Hall looking as well as we've seen him in 2 to 3 years. This was the offensive line across the board pretty much having above average to elite days. And then it was the defense failing us, right? You're not going to get that kind of performance, especially out of Justin Fields week after week. Consistency was the biggest knock. But if the offensive line is capable of holding up and they're only allowing, let's even say, just 1 or 2 sacks a game, and Justin Fields isn't being pressured all day, and they're opening up lanes in the running game that allow us to keep the games competitive, or it allows us to have those explosives on the ground and we're scoring touchdowns or at least coming away with field goals, and we're up in the games. It allows you to continue to push that, right? In the playbook we've seen looks good enough for us to be able to take advantage of all of this passing game and run game, right? But the run game should be our bread and butter, and Armand Membou is a specific highlight about that. I did have some concerns, again, just looking at what happened over training camp, how he was getting beat versus Will McDonald, how he's getting beat versus Jermaine Johnson when he was coming back, but rookie lumps are rookie lumps, right? I think it's extremely impressive looking at what he did against TJ Watt, against Highsmith, what he's done against Greg Rousseau, what he's done against Joey Bosa. It doesn't look like the game is too big for him. And the beautiful piece here is he's still progressing week over week as a pass protector, right? There's still a lot to unlock with that game specifically, but to see him hit the ground running in terms of being a run blocker, to see the change from working with AVT all offseason and now working with Joe Tippmann. And that's where I thought the fall off would be, right? AVT was the perfect mentor because he's played every position but center on the offensive line. He's played tackle, so he understands the nuance there. He understands the footwork needed, and he's done it well, right? He understands some of the matchup concerns that could be, and he knows where he may need to be able to chip in, etc. He knows where he can leave him on the island. We've been helping out with some of the tight ends going out there and making chip blocks and different things of that nature as well. So great game plan in terms of not putting too much on his plate, but still trusting in what we saw in terms of the physical talents while working on the technique and things. And I think it's really just been brilliant so far. To be a top five player at any point of your career, but your rookie year alone is huge. Now, will he keep that up the entirety of the season? Who knows? But considering who he's played against and considering the game plans that we're putting together, as long as he's not having to, play 40 pass blocks a game, right? While he's working on that, it does present itself an opportunity to walk away and say he's definitely looking at being a first team all rookie team player, right? Maybe he can get some more accolades there, but all pro potentially not out of the question here. But the game in and of itself isn't too big, and the fact that if you look at week one, the combo blocks he pulled off, reaching the second level, there's going to be matchup advantages that definitely come his way when you look at Hassan Reddick, even, for example, coming up with the Buccaneers, where he's playing some guys that are undersized. And at that point, you can match up with them physically well in terms of some of the speed components. The power unquestionably should be a win for him. You're talking about some weeks where he's definitely going to go out there and look like the best player on the offensive line as well. And I love the fact that they don't always even necessarily need to run behind him either. It's the fact that him and Joe Tippmann and Josh Myers are combining to open up a lot of these cutback lanes. And it's not necessarily just requiring him to need to pancake and do different things of that nature. That's allowing Breece Hall to be able to go out there and just pick his fill of what lanes he's running out of, what gaps might be opening up immediately. But he also has that component to, be that Mekhi Becton, if you will, on the right side of the line where you can run behind him and you can trust the fact that there's going to be some yardage. He's displacing guys immediately and driving them 2 to 3 yards down the field and such. So I'm very intrigued about what he's going to continue to look like, but it is a glowing piece of hope because if the offensive line plays well, it at least gives you a fighting chance week in and week out. And knowing that the rookie is going to be one of the core pieces here is a huge, huge plus, right? One of the things I think of is that the players that we succeeded with under Robert Saleh does not mean those are going to be the same guys that we succeed with under Aaron Glenn. And that's regardless of extensions, that's regardless of, former Pro Bowl, All Pro accolades, etc. It's a new scheme, new mentality, new play calling, etc. that's happening here. And these guys are going to have to adjust. Who has the best overall skill set or the discipline to be able to make some of those moves? We'll see. You look at Jamie Sherwood's struggles, for example, as a cause for concern. But in year one of Aaron Glenn, my overall thought process is just who is going to be the core guys that they can look at immediately and say, these are our guys, these are our DNA players. It doesn't mean these have to be guys that they drafted or brought in through free agency. This is whoever can rise to embrace the mentality, the play style, and ultimately mesh with this playbook the best in order to give us a chance of punching above our weight class until we can continue to add in and build on the talent that's in place. So Armand Membou, a shining example of that so far in my eyes. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you again. Peace.